Hello everybody and welcome, I am Kaboom, and today we're going to be welcoming in the Christmas season, and what a better way to start off with, I'm going to very loosely say Christmas themed runs than with a Stantler, the secret 10th reindeer of Santa's crew. We're going to see if we can beat the game Pokemon FireRed with only Stantler, and if you've noticed by the thumbnail, these are probably going to get progressively more festive for the rest of the month. We're going to name our Stantler Toyotathon because I have zero shame and I couldn't think of a Rudolph pun for this particular reindeer. Now, if we take a look at Stantler, specifically at the stats, it's actually not too bad. It's got a good attack stat, special attack, and the speed isn't too bad. Now, unfortunately, its defensive stats aren't the best, and neither is HP, but with any luck, we'll be able to find some decent physical and special attacks, and be able to take down most of the opposing team's Pokemon with a solid one-shot. Things rarely go as planned, so probably not. As we get into the game, I think that we should be able to beat this. I'm just not sure what level we're going to have to be at. The rival has some solid Pokemon, and unfortunately, because he's going to have Intimidate access, Feather Dance access, it's very possible that if we don't move first, our attack is just going to be ruined and we may have to rely on special attack. And, speaking of the rival, we're going to go ahead and give him a Squirtle this time around. While we play through the lab rival battle, which we win, by the way, we'll start to go ahead and get into the game. And I want to go ahead and take a look at Stantler's moveset. We're starting the game with an almost standard starter set with Tackle, and as we get into some of the higher levels, we do get access to a couple decent moves. Our TM list is your typical normal type TM list where we can learn just a little bit of everything. With the beginning of the game stuff though out of the way, we'll go ahead and make our way through the forest. There aren't many Pokemon that can go to the rival fight right after we finish the lab rival fight unless it's a legendary or fully evolved Pokemon. And Stantler is a fully evolved Pokemon but just doesn't pack enough punch. We actually ended up trying, I'll just go ahead and kind of play the footage here. So what we'll go ahead and do is just make our way back through the forest, taking out the trainers there, and then we'll go ahead and double back to try and fight the rival, just like we usually do. Pidgey is the first to kick things off, and we tackle it to around half as Sand Attack connects, which isn't great because naturally we miss. After another Sand Attack, though, we do end up taking it down. Then, Squirtle comes out, and we tackle it, taking it to not quite half. Thankfully, it isn't doing too much damage, and we take it to red. We miss again, but then we take it down to win us the battle. Alright, so we'll go ahead and head back through the forest, and it's time to go ahead and try to fight Brock. If I'm being honest, I do not think that's going to go well for us in any capacity, just given the fact that we're going to be trying to take it down with a physical attack that is not very effective, but let's go ahead, see what happens. Geodude is the first one out, and we use Astonish, which gets a crit for not a lot of damage. After a defense curl, Astonish doesn't do too much, so we swap to Tackle since it's a bit more powerful and a crit takes it to yellow. We take it to red, then take it down a few turns later, but our HP is almost cut in half. Onix is out and uses Tackle, which gets a crit, and we do a very weak Astonish. Tackle misses, and we're just not doing enough damage, and just all too soon it ends up taking us out. I think I'm going to have to get some levels before this is even going to be doable. We even had a crit in there, and it just isn't doing enough damage, really, to either Pokemon. At level 15, we use Astonish, taking the Geodude to not quite half. Even after the defense curls, we're doing decent damage, and we actually do end up taking it down with plenty of HP remaining this time around. When Onix comes out, we don't do much, so we swap over and use Leer a couple times. For whatever reason that I am certainly not complaining about, it just focuses on using Bind more than anything else. So that actually lets us use Leer before we go on the offensive. We barely take it down with only 17 HP remaining, but because of just horrible moveset choice, we're able to win the battle and the badge. So with that, we're going to go ahead and make our way towards Cerulean City. As always, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, tell me what holiday you celebrate that's coming up. Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or if you're not comfortable with that, tell me any family traditions that you have around this time. Here in the next week or two, I'm going to be doing a karaoke stream with a friend, and then I think by the time this video goes up, I'll already be editing it, but I streamed the other day doing Christmas commercials, tier listing those with another friend. I'll be sure to go ahead and, as we do each of those things, include their links down below. Basically, aside from that, I just want to go see some Christmas lights and just try to avoid the holiday season. And also finishing up My Hero Academia while finding something new to watch. Maybe this time I'll actually finish The Walking Dead. Speaking of dead, we grab the dome fossil in this perfect segue that is not problematic in any way, shape, or form. And just like this segue being perfect and not problematic, so is the dome fossil. So with that, we're going to go ahead and make our way into Cerulean City. There are two options that are available for us, one being Misty and the other being our rival. And honestly, our special defense isn't the best, but I at least want to go ahead and try her gym first. If that doesn't go well, we'll try the rival. And if that doesn't go well, we'll just go ahead and cry for a little bit and then just keep trying like we usually do. It's fine, I'm not obsessed. Staryu is her first Pokemon, and it opens up with Harden as we open with Hypnosis to hopefully just wail on it for a bit. We use Astonish to test damage, and it does okay enough, so we take it to half next turn. We do swap over to Tackle, mostly to test damage, and it definitely seems to be doing more, so when Misty heals up, we continue with that. As we take it back to red, Staryu finally wakes up and hits us for decent damage before we take it down. As Starmie comes out, we immediately get taken down with a crit, then we try again, but we still go down even without the crit. So, let's go ahead and see how things go against the rival. I hope they go better. Pidgeotto's up first and we tackle it, taking it to not quite half as it uses Sand Attack, then Quick Attack, and then we miss. We do take it to red after a few turns, then knock it out, but only having one Sand Attack against us. Hopefully that's not bad. Rattata comes out and does hit with a Quick Attack, and then we miss, and then we miss again. Love that for us. Thankfully though, we do hit it next turn and are able to one-shot it to take it down. Squirtle comes out, and we get a much-needed critical hit to take it to red, and it only uses Withdrawal. Then we're just able to go ahead and take it down to I mean, there is an Abra, but it can't really do anything, so there's that. We'll go ahead, we'll head to the north and make sure that we can get a few additional levels. With those couple levels, honestly, I think that Misty will be somewhat doable. We'll clear out the trainers on the bridge and some of the side trainers as well, but I typically don't fight through all of them, and then we can double back and see if things go any better against Misty. If things don't go well against Misty, the good news is there's plenty of trainers still above to the north and also below and on the ship if absolutely need be. I can also get the Versus Seeker and rematch them if needed too. We're at level 23 and we now have a new move, Stomp, and it's actually pretty solid, and that takes Staryu out in one go. Starmie comes out and it does still outspeed, and Water Pulse is doing some solid damage and we do take it to yellow. Another Water Pulse takes us to 26 HP, but then we just take it down to win the badge. This could have gone either way, honestly, if we would have gotten confused at one point or another, but I'll take the victory. With that badge, though, we can go ahead and go to the ship. Now that we have Stomp, I'm not going to worry as much about grinding because it is a solid move. It has that flinch chance. We'll still get the items that we need, and then after that, we'll go ahead and try to fight the rival. Pidgeotto's up first, so we use Stomp, taking it down in one go. We're kind of over-leveled at this point, even with avoiding battles, so Raticate is also an easy one-shot. Kadabra is, well, it's physically frail as all get out, so it's probably always going to be a one-shot. And then after that, Wartortle goes to yellow, only uses Withdraw, so it goes down pretty easily. So we'll go ahead, grab Cut, go fight Surge. I don't think there's too much of a chance that we won't be able to beat this, but I guess an errant crit or a lot of paralysis luck can change that. We'll see. Surge starts with Voltorb and we open with Stomp, taking it down with just one hit. Pikachu comes out and it also is a one-shot, but from beyond the grave, it gets that static proc, which is not great for us. Raichu is last and we get hit with a Shockwave with a crit and stay paralyzed. Raichu uses Double Team and we stay paralyzed, but we do manage to hit it with a crit Astonish. Shockwave takes us to 12 HP, but we push past the paralysis and the Double Team, manage a Stomp to take it out and narrowly win the badge. See what I mean about paralysis? Now, we're going to go ahead and get a decent bit of travel done and out of the way, and we actually have to leave the cave halfway through given our limited move options. This is the first time in what feels like forever that I've actually had to do that, but it also feels like the first time in forever, even though it's only been about probably 3 videos, that I'm able to take advantage of the game corner if I wanted to. Chances are that we're probably just going to be focusing on Psychic, which, I mean, as a kid, I definitely thought this was part Psychic typing back in the day, but we can do a few things now that we're in Celadon, and one of those things is fighting the gym leader, Erica. Erica first starts off with Victory Bell, and we open with Stomp, taking it to yellow, then he uses Stun Spore. Giga Drain connects for a solid bit of damage, and then we take it down with another Stomp. Tangle is out next, and it sets up in Grain as we stomp it to one-shot it with a crit that I don't think was needed in any way, shape, or form. Vileplume is the last Pokemon as Giga Drain does solid damage, and Stomp takes it to yellow. Another Giga Drain connects, and thankfully we don't get paralyzed, stomping it, taking it out, and that's that. So now, we can go ahead, head back to Giovanni, see how things go, and honestly, they're probably going to be fine. Giovanni first starts with Onix, and we open with Psychic, taking it to yellow as it uses Rage that does so much damage before we take it down. After that, it's out to Rhyhorn, and Psychic takes it to red, and he uses Stomp before we take it down. Then after that, it's out to Kangaskhan, and it uses Fake Out to flinch us. Then, goes half to Stomp, goes to red as it uses Bite, and then we take it down to win the battle. Okay, now we'll go ahead, head back to the rival, and once we beat the rival, we can do a kind of mid-game review of how Stantler is doing so far. The rival first sends out Pidgeotto and uses Quick Attack as we take it down with a single Stomp. Then, Growlithe comes out, and we use Psychic, taking it out. After that, you have the Eggs, and Stomp will take it to yellow, as it sets up Reflect, then goes down. Kadabra is a one-shot, because of course it is, it's frail. And then it's finally out to Wartortle. Psychic takes it to yellow. It doesn't do anything with its one turn of life, so we just take it down. Alright, so now we can go ahead and make our way to the Safari Zone, and for a review on Stantler, it's not bad to be honest. I have used it once before when I did a duo run of Stantler and Girafarig last year for Christmas and Heart Gold, so it's been kind of nice just getting to use it. Stomp is actually a pretty good move, and while Return is better in basically every aspect aside from that flinch chance, I typically try not to use that very often unless we just don't have access to any solid physical moves, but we have a decent physical attack. I know some people in comment sections for other YouTubers basically hate when it is used, so I'm just trying to stick mostly with what we can go ahead and learn without spamming that all the time. As we get into the back half of the game, I think that Koga will probably be an issue, and I think that Blaine will be an issue for us. I doubt we'll be able to take down the Pokemon in one shot, and then if we get hit with Toxic, then we're probably going to be taken down with the residual damage. Then with Blaine, you have multiple Pokemon that have Intimidate, so we'll be trying to focus on our special attack more often than not. So we'll go ahead, finish our Safari Zone stuff, and then we'll go ahead and see how things go against I can tell I'm tired because I just tried to say see how things go against Kroger. We'll see how things go against Koga. For those that don't live in the Midwest, Kroger is a grocery store chain. Koga first starts with coughing, and we take it below half, flinching it and then knocking it out. Muck is next, so we try to put it to sleep. Miss, it sets up Minimize, then we put it back to sleep, taking it to about half. Miss Psychic, then it wakes up and uses Sludge. We do work on taking it down, but then since Koga heals up, it's just able to take us down. A few attempts in, we can open with Psychic and take down the coughing in one shot. Muck is next, we put it to sleep, swap to Psychic and take it to not quite half. We take Muck to red with Stomp, Koga heals up, we take it back to half, back to red, heals again. After that though, 2 more Psychics, take it out. Another coughing comes out, we take it down with a Psychic, then Wheezing comes out, we take it below half as it uses Smokescreen, and we miss. Next turn though, we take it down, and that wins a, surprisingly, I don't want to say easy, but yeah, kinda easy battle for us. That went a lot better than I thought that it was gonna be. So with that, I mean, we're able to go ahead. Alright, so with that, we can basically go to wherever we want. We can either go to Saffron or we can go to Cinnabar. In this case, we're going to go to Saffron, and with that, Silphco. The good news is, if we can't beat the rival, we do have 2 options that are available for us. The first one is that we can either try to entirely clear out Silphco, grabbing any vitamins and levels that we need, and then after that we can try the rival again, or if all else fails, like I was saying, we can go to Cinnabar and try our chance with Blaine. If nothing comes from that, well then maybe we'll have some problems, but let's hope that it doesn't come to that. The rival first starts off with Pidgeot, and we open with Stomp, taking it to yellow. His wing attack does a bit of damage, and then we take it down. Growlithe is next, and we swap over to Psychic, taking it to yellow. Flame Wheel connects for decent damage, then goes down. Execute comes next, and we take it down with a few stomps. Alakazam comes out, sets up Calm Mind, then Future Sight as we stomp it into the ground. Blastoise is last, and Bite does solid damage, and even though we do hit it with Psychic, unfortunately, the Future Sight damage smacks us, and that takes us down. Alright, so let's go ahead, run around, grab the vitamins, level up, and get to level 50, because, surprisingly, I actually have a plan. Pidgeot comes out when we put it to sleep, and then after that, we're going to start abusing the new move that will probably last with us throughout the rest of the run, Calm Mind. After we spend some time setting up, we swap over to Psychic before it wakes up a second time and knock it out. Growlithe is next, and we continue with Psychic, taking it down. Execute is next, and we swap back to Stomp, taking it to yellow, as it misses, and then we take it down. From there, Alakazam is out, and we can stomp it down. Then Blastoise is his last Pokemon and uses Protect, doubling down on that before a Psychic connects, taking it down with a critical hit to win this battle. Alright, let's go to Sabrina. For the rest of this run, probably gonna need Calm Mind. Oh wait, we have a Giovanni fight though yet. Let me do that first. Giovanni first sends out Nidorino, and we use Psychic, taking it down a one-shot. Next out is Nidoqueen, and we use another Psychic, taking it down. Kangaskhan comes out, and Psychic doesn't do much, but Mega Punch does decent damage. We do take it to red, as it uses Rage for some reason. Then it goes down. Rhyhorn is his last Pokemon, and we can take it to red as Fury Attack connects, and then goes down. Now we can fight Sabrina. Sabrina first starts off with Kadabra, and we can take it down in one shot. Next out is Mr. Mime, and it's a quick one shot as well. Then you have Venomoth, and it's also a one shot. Then, finally, it's out to Alakazam, and it does outspeed, setting up Calm Mind, but we can take it down in one shot to win the battle. With that, we'll go ahead and go to Cinnabar Island, and honestly, I don't know how things are gonna go for us. We're not at too bad of a level, and with the Hypnosis and Calm Mind setup, we should be fine. It does allow us to brute force our way through things a little bit sooner than we normally would, as long as Hypnosis, connects. I wish that there were a more accurate way, but we'll definitely take what we can get. For now, though, let's go ahead, see how things go against Blaine. Blaine starts off with Growlithe, and we put it to sleep with Hypnosis. After that, we spend some turns, setting up Calm Mind. After 2 failed attempts to put it to sleep when it wakes up, we just choose to go with the offensive and go with what we got, and we one-shot it. The Ponyta is also able to be one-shotted right after. Then, Rapidash is next, and we take it to red as another Fire Blast connects. Knowing that Blaine is going to heal, we're going to go ahead and use the Calm Mind for a third time, so that we can one-shot it next turn. From there, it's out to Arcanine, and we use Psychic, taking it to red, as it tries Roar for some reason. I'm assuming because it wants us to switch our Pokemon, so we lose our boosts. Given the fact that it did that, though, and it failed, we're able to take it down without too much of an issue. Had he, attacked, that probably would have gone a lot differently, but I am not going to complain. Now we can go to Giovanni, and given the fact that half his team consists of Pokemon with Paper Thin Special Defense, and then you have the other half who is weak against a Psychic move, I feel pretty good about our chances, not gonna lie. Rhyhorn, and we use Psychic, taking it down in one go. After that, Nidoqueen comes out, and Psychic takes it into the red. Earthquake does some decent damage, and we know Giovanni's gonna heal, so let's just do a quick buff with Calm Mind, and then take it down with a Psychic next turn. After that, given our boost, the rest of his team is a one-shot each, earning us a fairly simple last badge. Did I need to Calm Mind boost against them? No. Did I enjoy every second of it? Absolutely. And this is why, if powers were real, I would probably become a villain. Also, not like a really bad villain, just, well, I guess bad in the sense that I wouldn't be trying to take over the world, just bad that I would be messing with people. Anyway, From there, we can go ahead and head back to the rival fight, and then after we finish the fight, we can review the different members of the Elite Four, and then just try to theorycraft on who we think is going to be the most difficult. The rival starts off with Pidgeot, and we open with Hypnosis, then start setting up Calm Minds. It does wake up after a bit, we put it back to sleep, set up one more before hitting it with a Psychic, taking it down. Next out is Rhyhorn, and that's a pretty easy one-shot, even without the Calm Minds, I'm sure as well. The same can also be said about Growlithe. Now, the tricky one is Execute, and we do use a Stomp that doesn't do quite half as it puts us asleep, but because it uses Solar Beam, that wastes a turn of sleep, we tank the Solar Beam due to the boosts and then knock it out. Alakazam is out next, and we use Stomp, taking it to red. It does disable our Stomp, ruining our next attack, but then we just knock it out after we tank a pretty hard-hitting Psychic, even with our boosts. Finally, you have Blastoise, and we use Psychic to take it to half, but it only uses Rain Dance for some reason, so we can just take it out. Alright, so as we do our walk through Victory Road, let's go ahead and talk about the Elite Four. I think that Lorelei will probably be an issue, even with the Calm Mind boost, just given the fact that our level is quite low, at least at this stage. Bruno won't be any kind of problem unless he either outspeeds us or survives a Psychic. If either of those things happen, we're probably going to be in trouble. Thanks to Ghosts being partial poison types in Gen 1, the good news is we can take them all out pretty easily. And then with Lance, I could see that taking a few attempts because they're, dragons. But we'll see how things go. Then finally, the rival fight. We've actually been doing pretty well thus far, so maybe that'll continue. So with Lorelei up first, I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase. This takes a while. We need the proper time to set up against Dugong, so multiple things need to happen. Hypnosis needs to hit, not wear off for a few turns, and then Dugong needs to not set up Safeguard. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead for both of our sakes here. Dugong is first, and in this particular attempt stays asleep long enough for us to get a decent setup. It does hit us with Ice Beam, but Lorelei heals up as we use Stomp on it, then knock it out. Cloyster is likely always going to be a one-shot with any special base move, so it goes down pretty quickly. With Slowbro, we managed to get back-to-back flinches with Stomp, and then a third one just ends up taking it down. Lapras goes below half with Psychic, hits a Body Slam, then goes down. And then finally it's out to Jinx. We take it to red with Stomp. It misses Lovely Kiss, which I thought was a 100% accurate move. So even though Lorelei heals up, we can just take it down without a problem. That wasn't too bad. It didn't require a crazy amount of levels. So let's go ahead, keep this rolling, see how things go against Bruno. Onix is first, and in this version it does not have Sturdy, and for that I am very thankful. We do put it to sleep and set up 3 Calm Minds because with our partial normal typing, and actually with our only type being normal type, if we get hit with a fighting move, we're toast. Then we swap to Psychic while it snoozes and knock it out. Hitmonchan comes out, that's a one-shot, and then after that, both the Hitmonlee and the Machamp are one-shots. After that, all he has left is Onix, who is also a one-shot. That wins us the battle. Let's go ahead and move on to Agatha, and like I said, I don't think that's going to be any type of issue for us either. Gengar's first, so we open with Hypnosis, repeating our winning battle strategy, and then taking it down after that. Given our setup and slight level advantage, and a miss by Golbat, we could take it down pretty easily. Arbok is next, and Psychic is able to take it down quickly. Then, Gengar is out, we take it down as well. Haunter, that's probably going to be a one-shot 9 times out of 10, and that wins us a pretty easy battle. Now it's on to Lance, and I know that Calm Mind sweeps aren't the most exciting thing in the world. However, I would assume you would rather watch me have a legitimate strategy with a move rather than over-leveling. Both are technically different ways of brute forcing our way through, but again, this involves an actual strategy being used. If you prefer the level ups over Calm Mind, let me know. I am curious. I don't know if I'll change anything right away, but you never know. Gyarados is first. We miss a Hypnosis, then we do put it to sleep and start setting up. When it wakes up, we put it back to sleep, then finish a full setup and take it down with one blast. Aerodactyl's next, and we do surprisingly outspeed. Or it's the Quick Claw that ended up helping us out. But it goes down. Here's the big boy Dragonite. We Psychic, and it goes to red. And it hits us pretty hard with Wing Attack. The berry activates, taking it just outside healing range, and then we take it down. The first Dragonair is a one-shot, and then the second Dragonair is kind enough to do the exact same. One more fight, let's see how we do. The rival sends out Pidgeot, as if that's any surprise by now, and we go with Old Reliable, but gets sand attacked in the process not once, but twice, and then a third time before it goes down. As Alakazam comes out, we unfortunately just miss a few times, and ultimately take it down before the Exeggutor just finishes the job. This may take a while. 19 attempts in, at level 70, and we get enough luck to put the bird to sleep twice without missing, and get a full setup of Calm Minds. When Alakazam comes out, we test damage with Psychic, and we actually take it to red. Its own Psychic actually doesn't do much given our boosts, and the rival heals, as we swap to Stomp, taking it out. Exeggutor is next, so we put it to sleep for safety, then use Psychic to test damage, taking it below half and knocking it out. Rhydon is out and is likely always going to be a one-shot. Arcanine is out, uses extreme speed for 40 pounds of damage, 40 points of damage, as a single Psychic takes it down. Blastoise is last, we use Psychic to take it down, winning the battle and the run. Alright everyone, I hope that you enjoyed that video, and just as an FYI, I am starting on my reaction series to this channel watching the Pokemon episodes. First episode got absolutely butchered by the algorithm and copyright, but I do think that I found a way to make it work. It'll have to be cut a lot more than I wanted it to, but at least I can actually provide reactions this way. Here soon, my editing job, both for Candy and Rage Christ, will be done. Rage Christ, I'm still so bad at saying names, because I say it one way, but due to language and dialect, it's actually pronounced a different way. Either way, links for both of them is going to be down below, but that means that I do have more time for projects, hopefully, so if you have any ideas of runs or other projects you want to see, make sure to drop them in the comments below. I'm kind of uploading these on Monday because I fell behind, and I didn't want to wait a full week, so we'll see if that continues for now. Once the dust settles from the holidays and whatnot, I'll try to get a better streaming schedule set up as well, and be on here a little bit more often. I also wanted to extend a massive thank you to my memberships, since that's allowing me to get a payout right before Christmas time. That's honestly huge for a smaller streamer like myself. For next week, though, I'm thinking we'll do Snover in Pokemon FireRed. Then for the final week of December, maybe a Frostlass. I might do a Swinub run, I haven't decided. For now, though, I hope you have a great holiday season. I think I'm going to go make some hot chocolate. And, as always, if you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.